Good morning, welcome back. It's Amanda. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by today, whether it's the morning or evening. I surely appreciate your taking the time to stop by and watch this video. Today I'm just going to kind of take you around, show you what I'm doing in my kitchen. Still working on cleaning stuff out, still working on organizing. Today though, I've actually got a lot of eggs that I need to work on. I've got to clean some. I've got to sort them. I've got to make some French toast because I'm going through the freezer slowly, very slowly, and I found some bread from last February that was in the bottom, and on top of that I've got some extra eggs, so I'm like, we'll go ahead and make some French toast, open the freezer, quick breakfast meal for my daughter or for myself. You'll see in a minute why my husband is not going to touch this French toast that I'm making, and I'll show you why in a minute. He's got a little issue going on, but he's always been like that. But anyway, let me go ahead and get this day started. Again, thank you so much for stopping by, and let's get started. So guys, here is what I'm working on with my eggs this morning. How many eggs am I getting a day? Well, considering it's almost the end of January, the weather, and it's because we're getting more light. The more light you get, the more eggs you get. It's slowly getting on with that. But actually, I've got another video I'm going to show you guys later on. My chickens have been making me hunt for their eggs lately, and I've got them on lockdown right now until they learn to lay where they're supposed to. But that's a side note. Anyway, when this gets full, I go ahead and start packing them inside of these carts. I get them from my pastor's wife at church, bless her heart. She's always giving them to me. And I've got two kinds of eggs. I have white eggs over here. These are from my leghorns. They're excellent layers. And since they stopped molting, they have been giving me jumbo eggs. These babies are so big. But that's beside the point. Anyway, I'm going through here, and I'm pulling out all the funky ones. Yes, these are funky, gross eggs. When I get the eggs, I put them in here. You do not have to put them in the refrigerator until they've been washed. So actually, this time of year, I'll let them sit out for a month or two, but I'm constantly using them, so it's not like they're just sitting there getting bad. They won't. I have let them go as long as 3 months without washing and putting them on the counter, and they've been fine. It really depends on your weather. But these definitely have to be washed before I stick them in the refrigerator, because that is horrible. And I've already started working on one right here. But like I said, if you get an egg and it's clean, it's pretty, there's nothing wrong with it, straight from the hen's nest, there's nothing wrong with it. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm putting those eggs in here. There are a few, I'm putting these in here right now to go in the refrigerator without washing them, whereas these are going to get washed. But what I told you about is that I was in the freezer and I found this loaf of bread. It's not a pretty loaf of bread, but it's going to serve its purpose. Hubby got this last year for $1 on clearance. I'm constantly telling him to go to the grocery store near where he works to look for marked down hot dog buns, hamburger buns, or bread. We'll take it. I'll find the space for them. I can feed the chickens off of them. I can eat off of it. There's so much you can do, but for $1, a loaf of bread, you can't beat that. But like I said, you can see this was from February 17th of last year. It was bottom of the freezer. What I'm going to do is make French toast with it. What kind of French toast am I going to make with it? I'm going to use these eggs. What's the difference between these eggs and the brown eggs? Absolutely nothing, except for the fact that my husband will not eat any of our white eggs from our leghorns. He's got an issue with that. Like I said, he has an issue with eating our white eggs from the leghorns, but it's not a very rational issue. He thinks that these chickens are really gross compared to the other ones. I don't understand why, except for the fact that they are completely white birds, and on their, you can tell they get gross sometimes. Anybody who loves chickens, they get gross. They'll eat anything, and for some reason, those chickens have scarred him from eating these white eggs. I can't really explain it because it's not very rational. It's not rational at all, y'all. It's not. There's nothing wrong between these eggs. Actually, the truth is, if I were to crack this egg and one of my brown eggs, you know what you would see. If I were to crack one of these brown eggs versus one of these white eggs, these white eggs are actually richer in the yolk. They're darker yellow than these brown ones from my other birds, because these white ones are serious foragers. They will eat anything and everything. They go everywhere, And because that getting all that protein and stuff, that they're working so hard for their food, instead of just waiting for us to give it to them, they make the best, richest yolks. But I can't convince that to him. So let me get back and show you the rest of this. Speaking of chickens, this is one that has been in my freezer. You have seen it with the freezer clean out. I've told you, I finally pulled this out, and I'm going to make some chicken dumplings off of it. Here's another thing. Hubby will not eat chicken and dumplings. He does not eat anything that has to do with chickens. Yes, I know that's crazy, isn't it? I could go into this, but I won't. He won't eat this, but my daughter, my son, and I like it, and I need to use it. I was actually contemplating putting it into this Instapot, which, by the way, this is another new toy to me. I went up to Georgia a few weeks ago, and my dad had this Instapot, and he said he bought it on a whim, and he didn't, basically, he said he didn't care for it, so he gave it to me. And it's only been used, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 times, I'm thinking. And, what is that? Anyway, he's only used it like 1 or 2 times, so I've not used it yet. I've got a bunch of ideas, but I haven't used it yet. But anyway, I was thinking about putting in here a whole chicken, but I don't know. But anyway, I've got another new toy that I get to play with, but this one was absolutely free. Like I said, my dad, he cans like I do. He cans. Actually, let me show you this. This is some apple butter that my dad made. You can see right here, apple butter. He made this. I think he used this. He made this. You can use this as a, what do you call it? A crock pot. You can set it on low like a crock pot. I think he made this apple butter in this. I'm not sure. But anyway, he said he only used it once. He didn't care for it, so he gave it to me. And anyway, I've got a new toy. And like I said, free's a good toy, y'all. We love toys that are free. Anything that's free. But anyway, I'm not sure. I'll figure that out. I might put it in here. But then again, I like the idea of having the noodles and the broth. Old school, probably end up doing like that. So anyway, that's what's going on in the kitchen. I've got to get all of these eggs cleaned up. That's the first part. Get those gross eggs cleaned up, put them in the refrigerator, get this emptied out, get this started, and make the French toast. So let's go ahead and get started. So guys, now I'm just taking and drying these eggs off. I put them in the bowl a minute ago because if you put them in a bowl and they start floating, you know they're bad. But if they stay on the bottom, you know they're good. It's always a good thing to do when you got fresh eggs, because you never know when you're going to get a dud. And there's nothing worse than cracking eggs in a bowl for whatever reason, and you've got other eggs already in there, and those eggs get ruined because of a bad one. So, and as you can see here, I take these white ones that my hubby doesn't like, and they go over here into this one, which is totally separate. And these right here are the ones I'm fixing to make the French toast with. Y'all, there is nothing wrong with these eggs, but we're going to be making French toast with them. So here's what I ended up getting out of this basket right here, and a few that were already in a separate bowl. I got two 18 packs and a half of an 18 pack. And of course, these are the white ones I'm fixing to use. This is probably about a week and a half, maybe 2. It depends. My girls lay different times. This is probably about, I'm going to say, an average of a week and a half to 2 weeks worth of eggs. I have been having a lot of people ask, they have been asking us in the past, and they do, you know, are we going to sell our eggs? Because the prices that are so bad in the store, we could actually sell our eggs cheaper and make a killing off of them, but I don't do that. If someone asks me for eggs, I will give it to them if I've got them and we're not falling short with what I need. Because I've learned in the past from raising chickens since 1995, I believe it was, and having eggs, that the minute I start to sell my eggs, I mean, literally, if I were to go and sell, say, I'll charge you $2 for this eggs right here, my girls will stop laying. Their production goes down. The more eggs I give away, the more the production goes up. Now, some people with this say that doesn't make any sense. Well, in God's economy, it is. It's more blessed to give than to receive. Or in this case, God has obviously told me time and time again, give these eggs away. Don't worry about it. You're going to have plenty for yourself. And it's always been a blessing to be able to do something like that. And I've learned every now and again, I'll say, well, let's try selling some eggs, make a little extra money, even just to make up for the feed that we put out. But it's not worked like that. As soon as I start asking money for my eggs, production goes down. If I give them away, production goes up. So I think I'll go ahead and go and keep up with God's economy. It's worked for a good night, over 20 some years now. So I got that chicken in the pot, the one that's been in the freezer forever I've been needing to use. I'm getting some of my onions that I put back in the freezer. They are frozen. I should have taken them out to thaw. I don't think it's going to work. Oh, that works. Let's try that again. Sorry, guys, but this is how I get frozen. Yeah, here we go. Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to take this off and go ahead and just stick these onions in here like that. And they will dissolve, you know, they'll get nice and hot. I'm thinking that's probably enough. I think that's all I'll do. So this is kind of what it looks like. Yeah, there's the chicken and there's the onions. It'll thaw out. It's already starting to thaw out perfectly. Put the top on here. I'm going to let this cook. It's probably going to take about an hour because the chicken was still kind of frozen too. But I need to get this started because my grands are coming over and I'm going to need my 1-burner oven to cook them some lunch this afternoon. So we'll come back and show you what this looks like and then the French toast. So here is everything I ended up doing. Here is all the French toast. I ended up using about 9 eggs, ran out of bread. That's going to be, all I have to do now is take all of this and stick it into the bags and freeze them for individual breakfast. Here's the chicken that I cooked and I deboned. I'm saving this to go into another meal, probably tacos or lunches or something like that. And here are the chicken noodles I told you I was going to make. Y'all, these are so incredibly good. And I did use store-bought noodles, but they're still really good. So anyway, you guys have a blessed day. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. You guys go out and have an amazing day. And don't forget, use whatever you got in those freezers. Let's save money together. God bless.